I'm just saying, Empire is still the best. It's the most complex, the most sophisticated. Wasn't afraid to have a dark ending.
Yeah, but come on, if it wasn't for the first one, you wouldn't have any of the rest of the movies.
Well, at least we can all agree the third one's always the worst.
Making a good sequel is difficult. Few movies are able to capture the charm of the original while bringing something new for audiences to experience. Many sequels feel like unnecessary additions, and end up being soulless cash grabs that tarnish the series' reputation. Many other sequels, while entertaining and well done, still can't live up to the spectacle of their first movie. Sequels come with their own challenges. Since audiences are already familiar with the story, they have expectations for how the characters should act and how the world should work. But the sequels that do work share common features. They expand on world building and the lore of the story. They raise the stakes, subvert expectations, develop already known characters or relationships, create intriguing new conflicts, usually by introducing a new antagonist, and they remain true to the original story. Ultimately, the best sequels bring something new while still keeping the elements that made the story great in the first place. It's rare for a sequel to be better than its original movie, especially when the first movie was already great on its own, but many have managed to do it. Here are some of those movies.
The kingdom of far, far away, donkey? That's where we're going. Far, far away.
The problem with making sequels for animated movies is that most of them are standalone films. The story is self-contained, and the major character arcs have already been resolved. This usually causes animated sequels to fall into the trap of rehashing the plot of the original, or creating a lackluster plot that doesn't go anywhere. Shrek 2 is the opposite. Even though the first Shrek wraps up the story nicely, Shrek 2 expands on it in a way that feels organic and new.
Well, it's easy to see where Fiona gets her good looks from.
In the first movie, Shrek's character arc focused on his desire to be alone because he felt unworthy of love. The second movie expands on this arc by changing Shrek's desire from wanting to be alone to wanting to be human, again because he feels unworthy of love.
You see, ogres don't live happily ever after.
This conflict, combined with the new settings and the new characters, lead to hilarious situations and entertaining scenes that manage to keep the humor and heart of the first film, while also raising the dramatic factor for the second. The memorable characters, jokes, and soundtrack make Shrek 2 a superior follow-up to an already enjoyable movie.
His exploits are legendary, and he's considered to be one of the finest pilots this program has ever produced. I give you Captain Pete Mitchell, call sign Maverick.
Making a sequel nearly 36 years after the original sounds like it would be a disaster. After so many years, it would be easy for the story to feel out of place, disconnected from the charm of the original. Top Gun is a great standalone movie, with intense action, fun characters, and a great soundtrack. But Maverick improves Top Gun in almost every aspect. It adapts the story for a new generation, while still feeling like a natural progression from the first film. The action in Maverick is top tier. The cinematography, sound editing, camera work, all of it make you fully immersed in the scenes, and make you feel like you're experiencing the flights firsthand.
Heads up, Phoenix!
Both Maverick and Top Gun use practical effects, filming actual fighter jets in flight. But Maverick elevates the action by testing the limits of filmmaking, using special-made cameras and training the actors to capture frames that would be otherwise impossible. The story itself feels like an improvement from the original too. The new characters don't feel forced like many new movies do. It's interesting to see Maverick go from pilot to instructor and develop his strained relationship with Goose's son. The romance also feels more authentic and refreshing in Maverick compared to Top Gun. There are familiar elements from the original movie, but they serve as thematic parallels that tie the movies together, rather than just being a cheap rehash.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire!
Top Gun was the best-grossing movie in 1986, and Maverick was the top-grossing film in 2022. Maverick is well deserving of that title, and personally, I feel that it's one of the best movies of the decade.
I gotta go fast.
When the infamous Sonic trailer first released, it seemed like the movie was doomed from the start. But after Sonic the Hedgehog finally premiered, with an improved redesign, the movie turned out to be pretty well done, with a new take on Sonic's story. Although the first film is great on its own, the second film takes the story to the next level. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 heightens the adventure and comedy of the first film, mainly by introducing Tails and Knuckles.
You think these machines are a match for me? I will shatter them like the bones from a fallen... Oh, they are stairs.
Seeing the development of Sonic's friendship with Tails was very endearing. Sonic's clashes with Knuckles and their eventual friendship were also interesting to watch. Jim Carrey as Eggman is really fitting, bringing a lot of chaos and much needed silliness to the live action that keeps the movie light and fun.
Oh, he's got rabid!
Both Eggman and Sonic start to resemble more of their video game counterparts here too, so it's nice to see their evolution compared to the first movie. Sonic 2 also includes more elements from the games, which is a great addition for longtime fans, a nice intro for new fans, and the perfect way of upping the scale. All in all, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is an enjoyable movie and expands on the story in ways that the first movie didn't have time to do.
Listen to me very carefully, okay? You're not a Terminator anymore, alright? You got that? You just can't go around killing people.
Why?
What do you mean, why? 'Cause you can't.
Why?
Because you just can't, okay? Trust me on this.
Terminator 2 does everything a sequel should do. It raises the stakes, subverts expectations, and expands on the world, characters, and story. On the surface, Terminator 2 sounds like a rehash of the first. A cyborg from the future time travels to the present to kill John Connor before he can become the leader of the Resistance. But changing the T-800 from the villain to the hero turned what could have been a forgettable movie into a story filled with thrilling action and sincere emotion. Terminator 2 takes everything familiar about the first movie and transforms it into something new. In the first movie, the T-800 was an unstoppable, unbeatable force. In Terminator 2, the T-800 is outdated compared to the highly advanced T-1000. In the first movie, Sarah Connor was a frightened damsel in distress. In the second movie, Sarah is a skilled, ruthless warrior. These changes feel like a natural progression of the story rather than a cheap attempt at shock factor. They allow audiences to see characters in new, captivating situations.
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live.
The first Terminator was a thriller, which was perfect for introducing the unknown world of the Terminator franchise. But T2 is an action film, and this keeps the story fresh despite its similarities to the first movie. Terminator 2 also puts a focus on John Connor, who we didn't get a chance to see in the first movie. Shifting the focus to young John Connor was the perfect choice, because it allowed the movie to explore John's conflict of growing up with the expectation of being humanity's savior.
Are you ever afraid?
No.
You don't feel any emotion about it one way or another?
No. I have to stay functional until the mission is complete. Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I have to stay functional too. I'm too important.
John's interactions with T-800 are both funny and heartwarming, giving the movie a lot of depth that most action movies don't try to explore. The movie really makes you care for the characters and feel for them, and, despite everything that happens during the movie, still makes you feel uplifted by the end. Terminator 2 is an unforgettable experience, and a worthy sequel to an amazing movie.
Mr. Miyagi, isn't that him?
Hey.
Hey, can you break a log like that?
Don't know. Never been attacked by a tree.
This is probably going to be controversial, but personally, I think the second Karate Kid is better than the first. The first movie is iconic, with memorable lines, characters, and the classic 80s movie charm. But the second movie gives a change of setting and characters that create a refreshing atmosphere and engaging story. Karate Kid 2 shares many of the same plot elements as the first. Daniel arrives at a place he's unfamiliar with, falls in love, fights bullies, and learns karate. But it also puts a spotlight on Mr. Miyagi and his past. Pat Morita's performance as Mr. Miyagi is exceptional, allowing audiences to feel the pain Miyagi experiences as he faces his past and the life he left behind. The dual antagonists also provide interesting contrasts between Miyagi and Sato and Daniel and Chozen. Compared to Johnny, I feel that Chozen is a more nuanced and compelling villain. Although Johnny was more redeemable in character, he still felt like another teen movie bully. The romance between Daniel and Kumiko was very sweet too. They have great chemistry together, a cute dynamic, and enough tension to make them deserving of a happily ever after ending.
You think I would like America?
I think you would love it.
Do you think it would help me?
Well, I know one part of it that already does.
Throughout the film, the drama is heightened, and the beautiful scenery and soundtrack bring everything together, making for a fun watch and an entertaining movie.
Rule number 1, don't be good at something you don't want to do.
Many sequels fall into the trap of reversing character development for the sake of plot. The nice thing about Diary of a Wimpy Kid is that you can see Greg's relationships grow and improve as the movies progress. The first movie focused on Greg's friendship with Rowley.
You broke my hand and you didn't even seem sorry. That broken hand was the best thing that ever happened to you.
And in the second movie, there's a noticeable change. Greg treats Rowley not as a doormat, but as an actual friend. Instead of retracting all the progress made in the first movie, the sequel focuses on Greg's relationship with his older brother instead, a relationship already perfectly set up in the first movie.
I came up here to get a new drumstick. And now, Greg, since Mom and Dad are gone, I'm going to kill you. Literally kill you.
I made a deal with her and we had a really good time and...
You're my brother. She'll never be my friend.
Roderick Rules is arguably the funniest movie of the trilogy, largely because of Greg and Roderick's antics. Aside from the humorous aspects of the movie, the development of Greg and Roderick's relationship felt very earnest and touching. It was a nice change to see them go from constantly sabotaging each other to becoming genuine friends, a change which carries over in the next film too. I never read the book series, so I'm not sure how accurate the movie is as an adaptation, but as a movie, Roderick Rules is lighthearted, enjoyable, and a surprising improvement to the first one.
Spider-Man was a hero. I just couldn't see it. He was a thief! A criminal! He stole my suit! He's a menace to the entire city!
Despite the countless superhero movies made in the past 2 decades, Spider-Man 2 still remains one of the best superhero movies of all time. The film makes great use of visual effects to amp up the action and bring the comic book characters to life. Dr. Octopus is a formidable villain. Not only does he create high-powered, visually appealing fight scenes, but he's also a sympathetic character with tragic origins. What makes Spider-Man 2 stand out from the first film is Peter Parker's internal conflict. While the first film sets up Peter's rise as Spider-Man, the sequel explores the consequences of that role in more detail. It's interesting to see how Peter's responsibilities as Spider-Man affect his everyday life.
My sick mother got out of bed to see it. Even my father. But my best friend, who cares so much about me, can't make an 8 o'clock curtain.
In this movie, we get to truly see the sacrifices Peter has to make in order to help the greater good, and through it, we better understand the weight of his responsibility.
He's just a kid. No older than my son.
Spider-Man 2 has high action, high stakes, and emotion at the core of its story, setting the standard for the many superhero films to come. Ghost Protocol changed the tone and course of the Mission Impossible series. The first 3 films were disconnected in style and story. Although it worked well for the series at that point, Ghost Protocol upped the stakes and the quality of the movies tremendously. With the IMF shut down and the threat of nuclear war imminent, Ghost Protocol raised the stakes of Mission Impossible higher than it had ever been before. Almost everything that could go wrong does go wrong, and it makes for some tense, exciting, and entertaining scenes.
Easy way to remember, blue is glue. And when it's red, dead.
Compared to previous movies, Ghost Protocol also has the best team. The cast has great chemistry with each other, and there's just enough humor in the movie to lighten it up without feeling forced or overdone. From the fast-paced action to the grand scenery and elegant style, Ghost Protocol is a standout film in the series, matched only by Fallout. Fallout especially increases the stakes by having not just one, but multiple unique, gripping action sequences, ensuring that the series always manages to do the impossible and improve itself.
And you?
I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
The Philosopher's Stone introduces the Harry Potter universe in an enchanting, fantastical way. Although Philosopher's Stone is a great movie, Chamber of Secrets greatly expands on the story and the characters, allowing the world to truly come alive. Despite the noticeably darker plot, the movie still keeps the vibrant, lively nature of the first film. Chamber of Secrets depicts Hogwarts as a place of warmth and solace, which makes it especially shocking when students go missing, get petrified, or nearly killed throughout the movie. The sequel is equal parts mystery and fantasy, and that makes for an intriguing watch, full of twists and turns that keep the audience questioning the characters until the very end. Tom Riddle is a striking, complex villain, and one of the high points of the movie, giving audiences a glimpse of Voldemort before his rise to power.
Surely you didn't think I was going to keep my filthy Muggle father's name? No. I fashioned myself a new name, a name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak when I became the greatest sorcerer in the world.
The movie has a nice blend of scenes that move the plot forward, and scenes that explore the world of Harry Potter and its characters. Chamber of Secrets keeps the charm of the original movie while increasing the drama, making it an improvement on the original and, personally, my favorite movie of the franchise.
Oh, it's only one red sock. What's the worst that can happen?
The Paddington movies are amazing. The first Paddington has a heartfelt, warm quality to it that feels sincere and charming. This carries over into the second movie, along with a plot that improves on the first by adding even more humor and adventure. The first film establishes Paddington's close bond with the Brown family, and the second movie changes this up by having Paddington separated from them in the most unexpected way possible, by getting framed for robbery. Paddington goes through several hardships in this movie, all while staying true to his character, and audiences can't help but root for Paddington as he tries to clear his name and reunite with his family.
How about these rolling shoes?
Please, Mr. Gruber, be serious.
What's especially great about Paddington 2 is that it's simple and straightforward. It doesn't pretend to be anything more than what it is, but the movie is also confident enough in its story that it doesn't feel the need to be hyper self-aware or make fun of itself. A problem many movies face lately. The emotions feel genuine and earned throughout the film, and it leaves audiences feeling inspired and wholly satisfied by the end.
Aunt Lucy did so much for me when I was a cub, and this could be my way of saying thank you. I'm going to get a job and buy that book.
The best sequels take what the first film laid out for them and build on it in fresh and exciting ways. While many sequels fail to deliver that promise, the ones that do create a long-lasting impact on audiences everywhere. Thank you so much for watching. This isn't a comprehensive list of all good sequels. Many of the best ones were left out. I'd like to know, what are some of your favorite movie sequels? Let me know in the comments.